When making trailers for games, films, whatever the medium may be, there are multiple ways to convey the message of the trailer. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at how Rockstar Games produced the trailer for GTA 6. But before we get into today's video, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 this month. All you've got to do is comment on this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be announcing the winner on the 22nd of December. Now, when typically producing trailers for games, there's two important things to think about. Well, actually, there's a lot more than two, but hopefully this helps break down some of the key sticking points. One, the message. What is the trailer trying to say and how do you deliver that message to an audience? And we'll get back to what this message is later on in the video. 2. The content of the trailer. What's in it and how does that tie into the message? What are you trying to tell people and how do you use the clips to deliver that message and tell that story? Now we understand points 1 and 2, we can start to look at what Rockstar have done. Recently, Mike York, a former animator at Rockstar Games, did an interview with GTA 6 O'Clock. And in that interview, he said this.
Well, what I wanted to ask was how much of that do you believe is like what you think would be in-game or at least in-engine when you were there on GTA 5? Is that always a thing for, GTA trailers to contain that sort of footage as opposed to, pre-recorded, pre-rendered stuff?
Yeah, from my personal experience and what my, personal opinion is on what all the new footage that's in the trailer, I believe is probably all 100% in game. I think that all of it is all running kind of like in my latest video I explained, it's running in real time per se, right? Mm-hmm. But they're probably doing some things to boost up density of shadows and different things to just help it a bit for the trailer.
So with this information, we can begin to get some contextual understanding. Even though the game trailer was running in real time within the game engine, it was not in-game footage. So they haven't recorded a PS5 or a PC, for example, because it wasn't being ran in-game. Because it wasn't being ran in-game, and on a console for that matter, Rockstar don't have to limit themselves to preset parameters within the game. They can utilize the fact that they can control the in-game world, so they can do things such as boost the density of shadows and help it come across a bit more impactful. Turn off cars, turn off foliage. Within the game engine, they can manually control the cars that spawn into the shot, or even manually map out traffic sequences. Now, I'm not an expert in graphics hardware for PCs. In fact, I don't have a gaming PC at the moment, but I'm going to use the proceeds from this channel to try and buy one in the near future. And subscribing helps. But in the game, how things will render will not be the same as how we saw in the trailer. For example, if you're flying across the map in the game in an aircraft, things will only render by a priority list of what's most important. So for example, NPCs might be one of the last things on that list. First, we could have foliage, we could have water and wave animations, we could have vehicles. It all depends on the draw distance and the limitations of the console that it's being played on. Now, for those that don't remember, in GTA 5, when it first came out on PS3, if you drove really fast through Los Santos, things would disappear in the shot. So for example, if you drove really fast, things like signage, trees, pedestrians, and other vehicles wouldn't spawn into the shot. As soon as you started slowing down on the car, things would start spawning. Now, this was for the most part rectified for PS4. It still appeared when you were in aircraft, but on the PS5 and PC, it's pretty much an issue of the past. But GTA 5, although it was a 3D/HD universe for the Grand Theft Auto game series, it wasn't perfect. What it looks like Rockstar have done with GTA 6 is take what they've done in GTA 5 and learned from it and made a more polished, higher resolution, more graphically intense version of a real world city. And Rockstar Games, like other games developers, for example in the game The Last of Us, localized rendering was pretty much the savior of the game. This means that everything within a certain distance of the player is rendered to a certain level. So the closer you get to an object, the more detail it renders in. This means that, for example, when you're in one part of the map, the other part of the map isn't rendered. It will be roughly rendered, so there's an outline and a silhouette of maybe some mountains in the distance, but no detail is rendered. This allows the game to pull resources from your graphics card, whether it's in a console or a PC, to render those areas of the game to quite a high level. Now, what it looks like Rockstar did in the trailer, firstly, they've probably made this trailer on a PC, so in terms of graphics limitations, they've got all the headroom they need, but they've probably turned off certain parts of the map to allow the game to render in as much detail as possible within a localized area. So for example, on the first shot of Vice City we see, the tree density here might be higher than we'd actually see in the game, because what they've done is by limiting some of the spawning of objects and vehicles within the game, they've increased the performance for this localized area, making the draw distance a lot further and the detail a lot higher. Here's a little clip of Mike York talking exactly about this. Make sure you check out the full interview after this video. It's really cool. It's linked down below.
It doesn't mean that it's not in there like that. Like I was saying in my video, you could probably drive a car, like if they accidentally messed up their coding and they let a car come through that area and let a green light go and let cars just flow through there, guess what? There'll be cars flowing in there and running into them, right? But they have to deliberately go in there and turn off cars, turn off this, which you can do in the engine. You can go in, a lot of these game engines like Unreal, everybody has it. It's not just Rockstar kind of proprietary, right? These are all things that you can do in a game engine to test a game. If you're in there, in that game engine, they probably have a button to turn off all the cars, turn off all the trees, turn off, or put low trees. And when you hit low trees, it only puts, some trees, but not every tree that you're going to see when you actually physically play the game.
So an example of what Mike is talking about can be seen in GTA 5. For example, we know that in GTA 5 the traffic mechanics were very simple. The way that NPCs responded to the world around them was not very natural, but in this shot here we can see that the NPCs are actively participating in the world event, rather than passively avoiding it. Now, we don't know whether that is a new mechanic of the game or whether that is an animated sequence that Rockstar have put in for the trailer. And this is one of the reasons I'm a little bit hesitant to put out my video breaking down the trailer. I've made one, but I'm not sure what's worth actually commenting on. Because until we get a gameplay trailer, we may get hyper-focused on something that was just added for artistic flair and great storytelling. And if you want an example of this, we just have to go back 10 years. Looking back to GTA 5, the actual resolution / graphical ability of the game was actually better in the game than we saw in the trailer, even on old hardware such as the PS3. But remember this, and this? These were made in the same game engine as the game, but they weren't animation sequences from the game. They were added in to bring character to the trailer. Now, it's important to bring this up, as for those that don't remember the hype we saw when we got the GTA 5 trailer, this scene in particular sparked so much speculation about the ability to buy properties, sell properties, acquire properties through missions, and even work in the real estate business. And all that speculation was just from a couple of frames of video that was added in just to add some production value to the video. Something else worth noting about the trailer, a key thing that Rockstar were trying to do here was to show functionality within the game, to show that this is a dynamic representation of real world today. That's why the usage of social media was so important. Now, over the past few years, there's been a number of articles saying that Rockstar are toning down their frat boy humour, and they don't want to be seen as punching down in terms of the jokes and stuff they make. And throughout 2018 and 2019, there was a lot of speculation that these changes within Rockstar games might affect the next Grand Theft Auto entry into the series. But I feel like this trailer was Rockstar saying, nope, we're still going to take the mick out of everything that we see, and that's why there was so much reference to things that have happened in real life. From a crocodile walking into a convenience store, to the video of the angry Karen neighbour. Now, remember earlier in the video where I talked about a key part of making a trailer is figuring out what the message is that you're trying to convey to an audience? Well, this is the exact reason we should take this trailer at face value and not look too far into the smaller details. Whilst we can peep into graphics, vehicles, locations, characters, etc., looking at production value elements is completely pointless. For the most part anyway. The message of this trailer was very simple from Rockstar. Florida man, Vice City, love story with an uneasy edge of turmoil that something could go wrong at any minute. The focus isn't particular effects, shadow density, conveying accurate dynamic range and all the cool stuff that we're into. This trailer was to appeal to the masses and say,
well, look who's back.
Thank you for watching today's video. Making this video, I had the pleasure of talking to marketeers for games development companies and some friends in the industry. So if you did enjoy today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll make more videos like this. Also, please check the links below to the channels I refer to in this video, as they're a treasure trove of information. Subscribing to these channels that I've used as sources helps keep the community alive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.